If you somehow haven't heard of the Handforth Parish Council, you have not lived, my friend. It's basically a local council just outside of Manchester who had a meeting over Christmas which descended into anarchy.
Read the standing orders! Read them and understand them!
In fact, the only thing they actually agree on in the whole meeting is at the very end where they agree that this meeting should not go viral. And yeah, that did not go so well for them. And I think that tells you all you need to know about how effective this parish council are. But genuinely, I think the footage from this meeting is the most exciting thing to happen to me since like March last year, maybe. There's drama, there's betrayal. Some of the main characters are killed off in the first act, and I've spent my day on Rightmove trying to find a property in Handforth. It's the drama, I live for it. Before BuzzFeed create a quiz determining which Handforth parish councillor are you, I thought that I would make a classic tier ranking video and tier rank the Handforth Parish Council. Okay, so given how chaotic the meeting was, I think that we should have some order. So this is the tier ranking system that I have developed. So at the top up here we have should be in Downing Street, their potential is wasted on the Handforth Parish Council. At number 2 we have the naughty step, this is for the troublemakers of Handforth. Right here in the middle we have the neutral players, these are the people who have read the standing orders, they came to the meeting, they're vegetarians, they did not want beef, they just came to make Handforth a better place. The next category is the man is a complete disgrace.
The man is a complete disgrace.
This is for the people who turned up to the meeting and embarrassed themselves, like their grandkids' friends will say, hey, didn't I see a video of your granddad on YouTube? And they'll be like, no, that a lookalike, wasn't him. And finally, we have the no authority category.
You have no authority here, Jackie Weaver. No authority at all.
This is for the people who just did not make their mark. They will not be going down in history as valuable members of the Handforth Parish Council. Okay, firstly, let's start with John Smith. John Smith is the perfect name for this man. He looks exactly like a John Smith should. See, this man gave us the video. He is the reason that this exists in the first place because he wanted this documented, he wanted this put online so that other people could witness it.
Can we make this recording available?
He has a good chuckle, he's enjoying the show. Credit where credit's due, he does give some light-hearted comic relief for the Handforth Parish councillors, although that moment on a Zoom call where you're waiting for your joke to land is never a comfortable one.
My first point is to apologise to Jackie, but welcome to Handforth.
And I'm looking forward to the ITV drama of the Handforth Parish Council debacle where Bradley Walsh plays John Smith. Okay, let's go with the absolute icon that is Julie's iPad. She is going straight at the top in should be in Downing Street because Downing Street would be a safer place with her in it. Julie's iPad never shows her face, she could be Sia. And honestly, for me, I'm just looking forward to her Academy Award nomination and win for Best Supporting Actress because she is a real show stealer.
Oh, hiya. I'm just in a meeting at the moment. Can I give you a call back when it finishes? Okay, alright, bye.
She did not listen to Jackie's request at the beginning of the call to turn off your microphones. Instead, Julie's iPad staged her own revolution, but she does it in subtle ways, and for that reason, Julie's iPad is the people's princess. And best believe I will be at my doorstep clapping at 6 PM every night for Julie's iPad. Next, let's go for David Pinkham. David Pinkham is just embarrassed to be involved. He knows this is a disaster and somehow predicts that this will go viral, but tries to stop it, and for that reason, I just think he's got no authority. He was overruled. You know, he only shows his face right at the very end.
I think if this goes viral on the internet or Facebook, whatever, it's going to start a war of words.
Just this week, David, you were the weakest link, and I'm sorry to say that to you. Next up, we have Sue. Lovely Sue. Sue was just trying to protect the reputation of Handforth, and she is the glue that keeps that town together. She's level-headed, she'd have my vote for leader. In fact, she might be flirting with the top spot. And to be fair, she's a woman of the people. She stands up for democracy.
Sue.
There's a member of the public wishes to speak.
She uses her voice, her privilege, her position of responsibility to stand up for the people who are not being heard, but with something as simple and dignified as a mere cough. However, at one point when she pitches a subcommittee, she is overruled.
Planning an environment.
No,
I don't want it like that.
But all round, I would let this woman adopt me, and I do think that she should lead the country. So she's up there at the top spot. Next, let's go for this guy. This guy's username is handforth PC Clerk, but he is not, in fact, the Handforth PC Clerk. He has decided that that's his role, but it isn't. This man woke up and chose violence.
Can we be assured that we won't be thrown out of the meeting like we were last time?
He is a little terror, this man. He's a walking contradiction, you see, because he kind of causes anarchy, but he's also a stickler for law and order, so I just don't get him. You know, he definitely psyched himself up for the call. Even the username that he used was controversial.
You must know the basic law.
I think he might be going a naughty step because, of course, he was banned from the call. 2 meetings running as well. Like, this man's going to get himself a reputation in handforth. And you see, I really have to balance this here because on one hand, he makes really weird old people noises that made me quite uncomfortable. But on the other hand, he does really care about the integrity of the HPC. I'm going to call it the HPC. And he has the standing orders readily available. Like, he has read and revised. And you know, sometimes you do have to stand up for what you think is right, even if you stand alone. However, for this man, that did result in the naughty step. Next, we have Ian. Now, Ian is not a fan of the previous bloke that we were talking about. It's confusing because we don't know the first one's name. He has got incriminating evidence against this man. He has got the receipts and a cheeky little smile to go with it.
I noted that his label on his video said Clerk of Handforth Parish Council. I have a photograph of it.
However, Ian does have some quite frustrating issues with the mute button.
Ian, you're muted.
Yeah. Thanks.
Oh, thank you.
Every time Ian wants to speak, he makes quite the song and dance of his entrance by not having the mute button switched off. And that is kind of attention-seeking behaviour, but I don't think he's a complete disgrace. I think, you know, he's read the standing orders, he wants to stand up for what he believes is right, and I respect that. Alan Murdock, a man of the people. Alan Murdock is a member of the public, but he accidentally gets kicked out and put on what he calls the naughty step.
Damn me, sorry, I didn't realise I was disruptive. I was being muted. How can I be disruptive when I'm muted? Yes, can I speak? Sorry, I didn't get a chance to make any comments on this because I was on the naughty step when we first had...
And so I am leaning that way because he doesn't really do an awful lot else aside from have weird kind of sexual tension with Sue. He takes being blocked quite well, so I think he'll take being put on the naughty step on my tier system quite well as well. There is one person missing from this list, and that is Ashley. Now, Ashley has been missing from all of the HPC meetings for the last year at least, and the fact that they haven't had meetings in that time is irrelevant. He hasn't attended them, and I think that is sickening, so I didn't even want to dignify him with a place on this tier system. He has no place in handforth and no place on this tier list, so Ashley, he doesn't even get to be involved. I'm sorry, Ashley, you had your chance. I think that Sin is actually the villain of this piece. You know how, like, we all thought Sharpay was the villain in High School Musical, but actually it was Gabriella? I think Sin is actually the HPC scandal villain because she's against everything. She does not agree with a single notion throughout the entire call, and I just think she's angry.
Then we would happily have them back in the meeting.
No.
And the problem is, if you're against everything, what do you stand for? The most exciting thing about Sin is her Christmas tree in the background, and that's just not redeeming enough because it's not even the season anymore. And, oh my god, I forgot, she's not even from Handforth, she's from Birkenhead.
He's being very disrespectful to everybody.
Oh, coming from you, from Burkhill, that sounds good.
And actually, Handforth and Birkenhead are not that close. Like, doesn't she have her own parish council that she can terrorise? I wonder if her hobby is just going around local parish councils and just saying no to everything. Because if so, what the hell, Sin? Barry Burkhill. Now, Barry Burkhill has some of the best comedy timing in this whole masterpiece. There's a section where it just cuts to him and he's facing the other way.
Albeit late, shall we get this meeting started?
However, he does later get quite angry at Jackie Weaver, and I don't appreciate it, so I think he is actually a complete disgrace.
You don't have to elect a chairman. There's a chairman already installed. What are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about.
Speaking about Jackie Weaver, it's about time she weaved her way up this list. This is a no-brainer for me. Jackie Weaver has had more of a cultural impact on this country than Boris Johnson himself. And I genuinely think if she was running the country, we would not be in a pandemic anymore. Jackie Weaver is volunteering her time to be here. She's not even from Handforth. In fact, I don't think she's ever been to Handforth. And yet here she is, doing God's work. Not all heroes wear capes, my friends. Honestly, she just wants the meeting to start. She wants what's best for everyone. She may be a little bit overzealous in her approach. She may overstep the mark ever so slightly, but that's fine, because she's an icon. It's kind of weird, because on one hand, Jackie does actually have no authority at all, but she should have authority. She wants to be known as Britney Spears, and I just think that's legend behaviour.
I'm afraid there's no way of stopping him calling himself Clark. Please refer to me as Britney Spears from now on.
Also, she never raised her voice once. She raised her argument. She left that meeting with her head held high. And if I was a betting man, then I would head to a place where you make bets, and predicts that her partner on Strictly Come Dancing 2021 will be Anton Dubek. Next we have Alid's iPad, the person on the left as you look at it, and also the person on the right as you look at it. And these two people should be judged separately, I think. So we'll start with the one who is on the left as you look at it. This man seems to have quite severe anger issues and is maybe possessed.
She's kicked Barry out, so I'm leaving. No, Barry, no, Barry has gone. Oh. We're trying to have a Teams meeting, you fool.
He kind of looks like Ben Shepherd from Tipping Point, which, you know, could be legend behaviour. But then again, he did fail to distinguish between Zoom and Microsoft Teams, and we are like nearly a year into this pandemic, so I feel like we should know by now. And to be fair to him, I have a similar meltdown every time someone tells me I need to use Microsoft Teams. I kind of feel like he's a good friend to have because he'll always have your back, but he will get you kicked out of nightclubs, and that's kind of toxic. And I don't mean toxic by Britney Spears, isn't that right, Jackie? My personal highlight was the mise-en-scène, the picture in the background of a serene, tranquil sunset over a lake. You know, the calmness of that juxtaposed with the anger of this man. Cinematography, honestly, impressive. Best picture, Oscars, ASAP. Next we have the other man who was using Alid's iPad. Now I think this man is Alid, but I could be wrong. This man laughs like a hyena. He tells Sin where to go. He tells her to go back to Birkenhead where she belongs. And he does try to restore the peace on the battleground that is his own living room. In fact, are these two people a bubble? Very interesting indeed. No, Jackie wouldn't have allowed that. Jackie would not have allowed some COVID rule breaking on the Handforth Parish Council Zoom call. No way. And honestly, he looks like he had quite a good evening, so I think that he should run the country. Peter Moore. Now, Peter Moore is a very interesting one. I didn't like this man. I think he might have been one of my least favourite characters, you know.
The man is a complete disgrace.
At first, I thought he had quite a nice background. You know, he had 3 different guitars, quite cool. But I think he had the worst character arc of anyone because he just got progressively more bitter and salty. And I wasn't into it. I think he's aggressive but made no real points, so this man is a complete disgrace. And finally, we have Roger Small, who just wants to get on with business. He wants to run the HPC with a bit of civility. He's read the standing orders. He knows what's going on. He just wants what's best for Handforth.
Formulate an official reply to that letter.
And so I think that is my completed tier ranking. Let me know if you agree. Wage war in the comments. I would really enjoy that. And you know what? After watching this, I'm in the mood for a fight, so bring it on. I personally had a wonderful time making this video, and so I hope you enjoyed watching it. I'm going to go and watch the Zoom call of this meeting again, and in the meantime, you can subscribe down below if you're new, and check out my other channel, which will be linked in the description. Give this video a like if you liked it, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!